And I'm back to talk a little bit about your weather forecast for today. So, what I'm watching today is actually this area of low pressure right here. And what that's doing, this little guy right here, I kept on wanting to call it a phalange on air, but I'm a huge Friends fan, so yeah, I kept wanting to call it that. But basically, this is just like a mini cold front. It's like a little wave of energy going around that area of low pressure. So that is going to consistently push its way to the south. And as it does so, we'll likely get some isolated pop up showers after 3 o'clock. Any sun that we get right now is great. It's filtered sunshine, but 54 degrees right now. We had a little bit of fog. The sun is helping to mix up the atmosphere. I don't like to say the fog burns up because that's not what's happening. It mixes up the air in the atmosphere, heating up little particles, and it mixes and kind of pushes its way north, or I should say higher in altitude, not north. But you can see clearly there's a slowdown there in Brookfield going westbound. And in Milwaukee, we're sitting in those mid 50s. Sounds like a good day for a Starbucks. And highs today near 67. We do have the potential of some afternoon pop-ups, and then we do have more chances of that going into your Friday. So I do want to show you, yes, that's my background. I want to show you the weather models that I look at for this. And let's look at the H trip, which we talked about yesterday. I'm going to make this bigger so you guys can see it. Oop, is that too big? Nope. So this one is the 11Z. I'm waiting on the 12Z model to come in. This one won't go too far. I'm going to go back to the 6Z, which is the midnight run. And you can see our cold, or the wave going through. I just pointed at the screen, but you can't see that. So there's the wave going through. You can see it right here based on the winds. So that's a good way to impress your friends. You know where the fronts are. That little wave, there you go. You got some pop-ups by 21Z, 3 p.m., which is why my forecast is 3 p.m. to maybe like 6. And then those kind of die out. A lot of activities down to the south of us. In the morning, I don't buy this personally. I think that the model is overdoing it a little bit. We have a cold front, and the front is right here. If I can see that good. Yep, it's right there. I don't even want to call. I don't think that's a pneumonia front. It's going to be no, absolutely not. Pneumonia fronts happen more so in early spring or fall, but it just kind of looked like the same. We call this a backdoor cold front. It's coming from the north, pushing south. Normally, fronts go west to east. So as we go throughout the day, this is 20Z. So we're getting to about 2 p.m. So Sheboygan, you might see some activity. Oshkosh, and then it kind of moves down by us, heading into 4 o'clock or so. Now with this, I'm going to go pull up a different model. And I'm going to pull up the skew T chart that kind of shows me how much energy do we have? Do we have rotation? Is it strong? Is it severe? What I'm noticing is that we have some mid-level bumped up energy, a little, not a lot, by the way. The energy is super low because we're cloudy much of the day. But you see this? This is called a hodograph. It showcases the wind speeds and what quadrant. And when it's going like that, that's not what you would expect for tornadoes. It's rotating the wrong way. For tornadoes, it needs to be up the upper right quadrant, and we have nothing in that. So I'm not worried about tornadoes. Honestly, see, everything is it's kind of going like this. That doesn't really support tornadoes. That's not veering correctly. Our CAPE, our convective available potential energy, is about 400, which is pretty low. There's a little bit of mid-level stuff going on, but I would say if we have anything, we could get some hail in this mid-level here, and then it kind of melts by the time it reaches the ground. So I don't really expect any severe weather out of this, but I think we could see some decent, maybe a little hail, maybe a gusty wind out of that. I'm going to pull up another one here that kind of showcases the skew T chart just at a different time. And yeah, you can see this whole profile. If you're unfamiliar with skew T charts, the red line is temperatures, the green line is your dew point, and utilizing that, we can figure out what's happening in the atmosphere. We could see, I think, some small hail. We have a lot of the lapse rates, basically how fast things can get down, are pretty high, but otherwise I don't see any other opportunities for that. The good news is as we go to the weekend, it all dries up. I'll go to the GFS because that goes out longer. And you can see as we go to the weekend, this one wants to pull up a bunch of like random rain chances. I don't buy that at all, especially with an easterly wind over the weekend. Nice and clear. Temperatures are going to be going up. I'm expecting highs over the weekend to be in the mid 60s on Saturday and the upper 60s going into Sunday. And next week looks so much warmer. Let me show you guys the temperatures. Whoa, that's really, really big. Hang on. Let me zoom the map out a little bit here. So if I go to the whole United States, there we go, and we're looking at temperatures, you can see we get this big old jet stream trough moving on out. See all this? That is a beautiful ridge, and that is going to be bringing us some mild air, and it's going to be lasting a while. I keep going in the models, and I'll put my mouse where we are, and you can see that we stay in this zonal flow. We don't get these big dips in the jet stream, so we stay really warm. Look at this. This ridge goes all the way up into Canada, and I see this lasting. This is June 7th, 8th, 9th, and you can see a little upper level low going on up here that could impact, actually, that would probably give us even some warmer conditions. And right down there, you're seeing, actually, I'll move this over. You guys can see it. This little one looks like it's trying to be a hurricane. See that through Florida? We'll see. We'll see if it manifests, but that is what I'm watching. I have a cut-in to do, so I will let this video go, but otherwise I will be doing another recording. I'm off tomorrow, but I'll be back here on Monday.